Right guys, so we've got that set up. We're going to be working on our next stage now, where we have our 5 volt that we need to get connected through. So what I've done is I'm actually going to be, because this is my demo, just having the one cable here instead of the whole set. But you guys are going to be working through, instead of the one that I've got here, will be whatever color you choose to be your 5 volt or your power rail coming through from that guy there. So what we're going to go through now is I'm going to connect over here, so you can kind of see him over in this corner, the 5 volt down here. I'm going to then connect it to the 5 volt over here, to the 5 volt over here, 5 volt through there, and then finish off with those two connected over here. So let's get through and get started. So this first one, what I'm going to do is I need to strip some of that off. I don't need much more than that sort of 7 or 8 mil. And what I'm going to use is one of these guys to hold while I tin the end. So before we solder anything, we always want to tin both of the components that are going together. So in this case, I'm going to tin the end of the wire. Beautiful. And I'm going to tin this little guy under here as well. So just add a little bit of extra. If you end up with too much on there, just give them a clean off so we can move through. So what I want to do and get in the habit of, before I start connecting wires, I want to add my little piece of heat shrink over the top. So this wants to be able to go over the top of what I'm connecting and have probably 5 to 10 mils across the other side. So it gives it a little bit of protection so we have no exposed wire, but it also allows us to ensure that we give a little bit more strength to that joint. So if we have a look, I'm just going to tilt this guy a little bit so we can see a bit better. But what I'm going to do is I've tinned both parts, so I can then just add some heat to both of those. The solder should then merge nicely. Okay, so it shouldn't take much if we've done it well. Then I can pull that over. That heat shrink goes over the top. If I can wiggle that in place, and as much over that joint as we can. So then when we heat it up, it shrinks on and holds that nice and securely. Alright, so if I have a look at where I'm going next, I'm going to tilt this a little bit further, we can see, let's just continue. Okay, so we can see I've got that bottom one next. So what I need to do is I'm going to bring this guy up. I'm going to say about that distance. I'm going to strip the end of that one. And then I'm going to strip the end of the extra piece that I've got over here as well. So what I'm going to do now is these two are going to get twisted together. So cross them over and then twist those ends together. And then I'm going to tin those. So this allows us to have all of our power in parallel as we go through. So a little bit of solder on that to tin them. I'm going to move them out of the way so I can add a little bit of solder to tin that one there. And then before I continue, I need to get that little piece of heat shrink over the top. So slide that over the top of both of the pieces this time. So he slides over there. Make sure he's as far away as you can manage it, so that when you heat this back up, you're not going to melt the heat the heat shrink, so it doesn't go over when you need it. So I'm just going to trim the end of that a little bit, because if you look at the connection point, I don't need all of that space. And if you need to, you can always either use a helping hand, or I'm going to get my needle nose pliers to help hold that in place. So now I'm just going to add that little bit of heat. You can see, there it goes. Hold it while it cools back down. And then I can work that heat shrink back over around. So So this is where it gets a little bit tight, particularly on ones like this where it's very close. And needle nose pliers can be your friend, but nice and gently work that round so it covers, and then we can heat that back up. There it goes. Because the more you can keep the joints still after you've soldered them, the less likely you're going to have them break on you later. So heat that up. Not too much because you will burn everything, including the pieces. So that's now looking good. What I can do is I can nudge that way a little bit so he's out of the way. Because the next point I'm going to come over to is I'm going to come up and around to this one here, which then allows me to jump across to that one and then finish off with that one. So that looks like that should be enough length in there. So I'm going to do the same thing again. Strip all of that off. Strip the other end off. Twist those together. And tin those two. Add heat. Add solder. And see, I didn't do a great job of twisting those together, so let's try that again. Okay. So there should be enough solder on there for me just to sort of melt it in. If I need to, I'm just going to add a touch more. That's ready to go. Then, which one have I got here? So I'm going to add a little bit of solder to that one. Awesome. So now, before I attach that on, I'm going to grab my little piece of heat shrink, add over the top. So notice mine's clear. We might have clear, or we might have black stuff. It all does the same job. So he's now there, ready to go. So now I'm just going to maneuver this a little bit so I can show you what I'm doing as well as have access myself. So there should be enough on this that I can then hold that in place. Add my heat back to it. Notice I usually have a little bit of solder on the tip of my soldering iron. It helps get the heat transfer across. If it's not shiny and you don't have a little bit there, it's really hard to get the heat transferred and you end up not doing much in terms of soldering. So now that's there, that's well in place. Now I hope you can see I've got a nice, smooth, shiny, consistent coverage when I go through and work with this. So the next stage, I need to bring this guy up over to here. So I'm going to go about there. We'll flatten this guy back out. Awesome. And bring that there. Trim that off. Repeat with the other side. Twist those together. And hopefully you can see the pattern from here. Then I'm going to add my tin or my extra bit of solder to the tip of that. Nice smooth. Add a little bit to him. Add my heat shrink over the top. And then repeat the whole process. Remember to make sure that heat shrink goes as far back as we can so it doesn't overheat and shrink before we want it to. fiddly. It's a bit tight. So he's going to go in place. Add my heat. You can see it's starting to melt in. And it's going to add a little bit of extra solder to the tip, and then just make sure I've got a nice clean connection there, because that side doesn't look as clean as it could be. Awesome. Alright, so that's now in place. Give them a second or two to cool down, and then we can pull this guy over and heat it in place and do the last one for our positive. Alright, so now I'm going to heat shrink that in place. You can see I struggle to get that one a little bit over, but we shouldn't have any other wires crossing over there, so it shouldn't be as much of a problem. And our last piece here, we're going to have bounce over there and then attach up with our set of cables that needs to go across to our Arduino. So strip those through, strip that one, connect them together, so we are ready to go. Tin the ends, that side, and the other side that needs to be attached. Awesome. Add your heat shrink over the top. And then hold it in place to do your last piece. Awesome. So once that's connected in place with the heat shrink over the top, what we want to be able to do is just check our continuity. So what that is talking about is whether we have the connection between each of the pieces. So really important when we're doing our wiring that we do have that continuity across all of our components. Because if we don't, the current that we go through is not going to connect and do what we need it to do for the circuits. So, the last thing to check with our continuity is going to be using our multimeter. And the way we do that is we're going to turn it on up to that center one, and I need to go through to select, so off auto, off to the little one that looks like Wi-Fi. And what that means is we've got it set up so it's connected to the right hand side one. You can see the ohms and the milliamps and the volts on this side, and the black ones are common. So when they connect, we can hear that they are connected. So what we should see is when I go to the end over here, I'm just going to strip a little bit of that off so we can see that it's connected. So we hold there, and then as I touching over here, I should see if I can get into any of the metal that I've just so nicely attached. He should be connecting through to those sides. What it shouldn't do, so the middle one it will, because those middle ones are connected, but the ground shouldn't be at the moment. And for the buttons, because they're normally closed, they're going to be connected on that one, but not on this side of the resistor. So I'm happy with that. That's ready for the next stage. So my understanding is that maybe one or two of you still need to upload or email the handbook. Haven't done that yet. And otherwise we're just getting this done. You said you were going to check it one last time. No? You're happy with the one that you got? Can you humour me, send it through so that I don't update the wrong one?
Oh, right. You reply to everyone.